Mr. Robinson begins the PowerPoint, and I may be repeating some things that I've said in a work session or in the budget presentation on the 18th. This is the 8th budget proposal that I have prepared since returning to the county in 2007, and by far it's been the most difficult. Although my prior budgets did not include a tax increase, it was imperative that we did so this year. We had, as everyone is well familiar with, one of the worst recessions in my lifetime, and our Board of Commissioners have been very sensitive to the fact that we had citizens that have lost employment or underemployed, and certainly were struggling. And I think there's recognition of the fact that there are people still not at full employment and looking for jobs. So for 7 years now, we have been very mindful of that and reduced budgets where we could, eliminated services, scaled back, and had cuts of various and sundry types. We've also taken advantage of a very competitive market and been able to construct much needed school facilities, and had a funding plan to pay the debt on those school facilities. Unfortunately, some of the funding that we were counting on will not come to fruition. We had some state funds that have been taken off the table, and so more of the debt service is now falling back on the shoulders of the county or local taxpayers. As a result of that, in order to pay the debt for school construction, we haven't been able to keep up with the demands and the requests that our schools have requested for their current expenses or their capital. So we've had to pick up more just to pay the debt for school construction. We did take those dollars and stretch them because we got some really good bids in. In fact, we had people to come from a good distance to bid on our projects, if everybody will just recall back. And we were able to do some great things. You can look at Franklinton High School as a great example, and we've got a lot of improvements that we've made in our schools. But more of that debt is now falling on the shoulders of our county citizens. And our Board of Commissioners and Board of Education have certainly been in discussions as recently as this afternoon in a workshop talking about the needs of the schools. I think the next step certainly needs to be to take that to Raleigh, and we need some help at the local level because the county cannot continue to pick up that tab. We cannot. In the budget proposal for 15-16, you see roughly $2.4 million more in county dollars that are needed in order to fund the services that are outlined. We will walk through tonight exactly what is covered in that $2.4 million. About 37% of that will be for education. The remainder, you'll see, is for the elections, some changes in the elections law. We have a couple $100,000 additional, about $200,000 additional dollars, local dollars, to meet the demands of election laws. And we'll walk through all of those expenses that were necessary. One thing that I think everyone needs to maybe have understanding of is, had it not been for the fact that we did have fund balance, in other words, some money in savings, we would have had to have tax increases over the last 7 years. But the board has been adamant about trying to maintain a fund balance and not have tax increases placed on the citizens. But you get to a point that you can't continue to do that. The growth in our tax base that we enjoyed back in 2004, 5, and 6, we're not growing like we were back then. And so the amount of growth that we have and we expect for the upcoming year is not sufficient to take care of the extra cost of doing business. So it's taken us a while to still come out. There's some light at the end of the tunnel, but it's taken us a while still to come out of that recession. We don't have any choice about the debt that we have to pay for. There are priorities in this budget, just like we have had in each of our prior budgets: education, public safety, health and human services, and then a host of other services. But your big money, when you divide up the county tax dollar, every dollar that a citizen pays, over 70-some% of that is just for those 3 areas alone, actually closer to 80. And we'll go through that in the PowerPoint tonight. Unless we want to remove some of the services that are in public safety or cut education. And there's few areas that you can cut in health and human services anymore because we've got that pared down about as close as we can. That's really the only places that we can get any large amounts of money. We're just at a very difficult crossroads in our county, but we've made some great investments for the long term, and that's something that, quite frankly, I'm proud that we have. We just need to all continue to work together to try to promote Franklin County as a place for people to do business. And that's not a job for one person. It's not a job just for an economic development director and his assistant, but it's a job for everyone in this room to promote Franklin County to the very best of our ability so that people will want to come here. And if we don't have a good education system, I can tell you no business and industry is going to want to come here. That's one of the top things that they're looking for. They're looking for other things too that we can elaborate. But I'll stop at this point and say that we just want to hit on just a few of the highlights of where those increases are in the upcoming budget. And Mitchell, if you would, let's go ahead and if you'll take it from here, and I'll add in